January 27, 1945. The gates of Auschwitz stood silent, their iron letters Arbeit macht frei hanging like a cruel joke suspended in the winter air. When the first soldiers of the Soviet 322nd Rifle Division approached, they expected an abandoned fortification, maybe a last-stand German position. They did not expect this. Corporal Ivan Martinushkin stopped in the snow, lowering his rifle. Shapes began to emerge through the fog. Not soldiers, not civilians as he knew them, but figures so thin that the wind seemed capable of carrying them away. One survivor whispered later, "They looked at us as if we were from another world." We looked at them the same way. The soldiers had marched through battlefields, through ruins, through cities smashed into stone dust. But nothing had prepared them for a place where humanity itself had been dismantled. A young Soviet private approached a group of survivors wrapped in striped rags. He tried to speak, but the words died in his throat when one of the prisoners raised an arm no thicker than a child's wrist. Another soldier muttered under his breath, voice shaking, This was hidden from us. No report was enough. No rumor was enough." Rows of barracks stretched across the snow. Inside, stacked wooden bunks. Silence. Just silence. Then, a child crawled out from beneath a blanket, too weak to stand. The private who lifted her would later say, "I had carried wounded men. I had carried dying men, but I had never held something so light, something still alive." Everywhere they looked, the soldiers found proof of what the retreating SS had tried and failed to burn. Shoes, hair, records, ash. Mountains of ash. A lieutenant whispered, "We knew war was hell. We didn't know hell had an address." When they radioed the report to headquarters, even officers refused to believe the scale. They demanded photographs. They demanded measurements. No one's imagination was large enough for what Auschwitz contained. As survivors stumbled into the light, many cried, not from joy, but confusion. Freedom was too large a word after years spent inside a cage built by men. One soldier remembered a woman who clutched his sleeve with skeletal fingers and asked, "Are you real?" He didn't answer. He couldn't. History would later write numbers, statistics, charts, but the soldiers who first walked through those gates didn't see numbers. They saw faces. Faces that had survived the impossible. And on that frozen January day, the Allied soldiers understood something that would echo through generations. The war was about to end, but the truth it revealed would never fade.